This is Lee, Motivationalee. Thank you for supporting my advocacy. Inspire, motivate, and create an impact. Together, we continue to synergize where our passion meets our purpose.
Hi, Jasmine. Thank you so much for your time today. And I know there's a lot of things that you need to prioritize today, but I appreciate really so much your presence.
Thank you.
Now, Jasmine, every year you have a lot of, creativity and also thinking about other projects. You don't stop, you never stop evolving and revolving when it comes to businesses and all that. So where did it actually start? Like from growing up, who influenced you to become an entrepreneur?
Good question. Looking back, I think it's more of the exposure I got from my education, being as an accounting major, accounting student. So I have a background by profession. I think I can say I'm an accountant, but never practice it. So being exposed to commerce in that sense. And then my very first job was in consultancy. So being exposed to many different businesses and industries and seeing the variety of it, I think gives me that inspiration over the years. And then moving into Australia and moving into the logistics industry, seeing the other side, which is the supply chain. So gave me the whole package and doing a master's in marketing as well.
Wow.
So it gave me that full package to be in the business.
Indeed, it's a full package. And why Australia? You can go another country, other countries there is available for you to expand your horizon. Why Australia?
At that time, it was the best option. At the time, that was early 2000. Australia was very open. We had relatives as well to add. And I remember there were points added if you have relatives. It's a point system, this and that. So profession, age, English. So you have an extra point if you have relatives.
Yeah, and the convenience as well. If you have family around.
And back in the days, it was very easy. It was like direct PR, 3 months, no English, just resume, I guess.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think it's really the right path for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's serendipity. I think that's what they call, right? Not just in relationship, but also in business too.
True.
But what does it take? What does it take to become an influential leader in entrepreneurship?
Influential requires results. So you have to have proven result, I suppose, to be able to make an impact to people, to society, to community, to your subordinates and business partners. So influence is the result of what you do. But to get there, you gotta prove, I suppose, before you can have an influence. So I think I can say to be influential, it's a lot of hard work. You have to show the path that you've gone through, and people see the journey. So if you have a business and you just set up and in a year you close, you have a story to tell, yes, and there's a story behind it. But then it's about the tenacity, I suppose, that you can prove that over many years, up and down, rock bottom, you have you stretched it and got through a 10-year mark, which is not, 7-year mark and then 10 years and then milestone after milestone. So I think it is that result base that gives you the influence. Therefore, you can have, and also therefore you can do more, and therefore you can influence more.
Wow, I
So,
can
yeah.
see a strong, confident, empowered woman in you. Wow, that's really good, very impressive. And having said that, you've got lots of things on your plate, and it's not easy to become, a leader, an influential leader at the same time, because you're a role model, right? You're very careful with how you create another jobs for other people, how you create another business. But having said that, you also have a family to go to and to look after at the same time. How do you balance, with all of these busy schedules that you have every day? How do you balance your work and life?
Work and life.
In general.
Work is life.
Work is life. I love that.
Yeah, work is life. I'm blessed to have children who are very matured, and I can really claim I've honed them through that path. In their growing years, I was still working, doing hustles, and then business, and they're athletes, and they're studying. I do the pick up, drop off, mom duties, everything. So it's really pure hustle.
Yeah.
So I think sports made them disciplined, and because they're both really athletes, like most of them, most of the three girls are really athletes. Gave them the discipline, therefore gave them that same. I'd say time management efficiency that I do adopt, and as a family we work on that, and there in the growing years that became our cycle, that became our usual stance every day. Organize this, the schedule, the drills, the errands. You gotta be organized, and that's a very important key in work-life balance, so you don't get the unnecessary errands that you have to make, and it compromises the relationship, it compromises your health, your time. So you gotta be organized and efficient, and then the kids as well. You have to mold them at a young stage to get to that. And I'm blessed that the kids are like that now. They're teenagers and they're uni,
they're
independent, and we can all do more, we can spend more quality time. So that's the family part. On a personal level, I think it's because when you have passion, that becomes your lifestyle, what you do. So you like community work, you like events, you like business, you like traveling. So that becomes your lifestyle. So therefore, that becomes your life balance.
Yes.
So you don't really seek for your 3-hour Netflix time anymore, because that bores you already. But for other people, that's their work-life balance. They need to slouch and sit in Netflix, because which is fine, but and we all have different definition of our work-life balance. But I guess for me, being able to do, and sometimes community work is work-life balance for me, because I get to give, I get to at least not be so uptight with schedule, because it's business. Community is different, so I think that that adds adding a balance of not just of the what you do, but why you're doing it. Adds to it.
Wow, that's such a great concept that you do in your everyday life. You have when you're saying about the passion, it's very important that if you love your passion, you get to enjoy it. You got to become excited every day, waking up in the morning, doing something, the things that you love to do. And that's so true. And right now you've been doing you've created more opportunities for yourself and for your family and for other people. And of course, they'll see all your businesses later on at the end of this video anyways, to get to know you better as Jasmine Flores. But Jasmine, I also would like to follow up about the passion itself, right? A lot of people out there can say like, oh yeah, I can be like Jasmine, I can have my business tomorrow. Anyone can be an entrepreneur, right? Anyone can be an entrepreneur, but then balancing maybe is the struggle. And you've just mentioned what are your what do you do, what works for you, right? And you've already educated the whole family to join you in this journey, and it gets into their system. But then again, what can you advise to other, not just women, but for everyone, if they think that they're already now maybe used to the 9 to 5 routine, like working, being a laborer, although they wanted to become an entrepreneur as well. But what can you tell them maybe today, like maybe an idea on how they can transition from that maybe 9 to 5 working days to maybe transition to being an entrepreneur, just like you, because you've started many years ago.
I think when you cross over, the key is is the crossover, the decision point where you say, okay, I'm gonna do this. And a lot of times, that's the make or break. And I see emerging entrepreneurs who are unsure, hesitates, doesn't have enough courage to really make that stand, make that decision, which is really fine, and everyone goes through it. It happened to me, and I remember I was greatly influenced at that time to venture into a business by a very successful Filipino also couple who's been in the business for a long time, and who somehow really convinced me to get into business. And sometimes you need to hear it from someone, you need to get all information you need, you do your homework, you do your seek a mentor if you can, ask about that industry what you're venturing, and reading about it and making that decision. And there's no right or wrong decision. I always say that you make a decision and you make it right. So you decide, and then everything will flow. Everything you do, you gear it towards that decision that you made. So your daily habits, your efficiency, your time management, how you manage your 8 to 5, and we all have 24 hours, and we all have the same. So it's how you use the rest of your 9 to 5 that makes a difference, where you do your side hustle rather than, I don't know, Netflix and so on. So and in social media now. So I think it's the crossover point that's very critical. And once you cross that, everything flows through it. So the first thing is, you make a decision. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna start a business, whatever that is. That's you're passionate about. Even if you don't know nothing about the industry, it's totally fine. Or just investing on something, or really venturing, and then study and then learn more how to be in the business. So it really depends how much you want to be involved, or not being involved at all, but to be a part of it only. So there are many opportunities there. And really, more than that is what's your purpose? It's really finding out your why. Why are you wanting to be in the business? And that takes a while. It's not something you do overnight. You really need to process it, discern about it, and then you'll unlock it at some point. That my why is because I have, 50 other nephews and nieces I want to give opportunities, and I want to have an orphanage, or whatever that your life purpose is about. Because you're blessed with the skills, opportunities, and resources to get into something and use it for future, for more common good. So I think unlocking the why as well is a deeper sense. And then you get through it it will flow on you that, I'm gonna do this, as you would.
I did.
And then decide, and you'll see, and the universe will really throw it at you.
Having goosebumps. Honestly, that's so true.
It will give you everything you need to get onto that decision point. But once you've crossed over that, you will get to that.
I agree. When you have that goal, well, it starts with your passion, and you're getting to know your purpose, even though you know already your purpose. But if you know that you have a goal to achieve, for example, I'm going to transition from this 9 till 5 work, a routine. Has been doing this for like 15 years, for example, and this is my passion. I can be an entrepreneur for what? For culinary, for just like John here, maybe photography or video, or someone, anything that you want to transition. It's good to know that you have that goal. Again, the why is very important. You anchor it with your why. Otherwise, even if you're continuously doing something about your goal, but you don't know, again, why you're doing it.
Why?
Any setbacks, any challenges will drown you. You'll sink back, or you'll sink in deeper, and you don't want to get back to your vision, because you just don't know where you're heading at, because you don't in the beginning you don't have your why.
Correct.
You only have your goal, and it's gonna be a bit unsteady. So make sure you put the why on it, anchor it.
Correct.
At the same time, you have to as well be mindful of what are the possible maybe setbacks, challenges. In advance, you're jotting it down. If this is going to be, for example, money could be the problem, or it could be space, or anything, possible challenges. Think of maybe, I don't know if you'll agree with this, think of a possible strategy on how you can overcome that, so you can then refocus on your goal and your why. Because you know exactly what will happen in the future, as you're ready to combat that and be able to focus again on what you want to achieve and enjoy what you're doing. But then there's another maybe question from other people who wanting to transition from their 9 to 5 routine to being an entrepreneur, right? Just like you. What if they have lots of bills to pay? It's scary. It's really scary to take the risk. Any business is always, you have to take the risk. But what can you actually share to other people? What works with you, perhaps, or maybe what works for everyone? Just an example, to get away from that fear, because that fear will always be there if they want to transition, and the doubts at the same time, like, if I'm going, I'd love to do this business tomorrow, but then I've got children, I've got this tuition fees, all these bills and everything. It's endless, right? But for you, when you started, when was that? Is it how many years now? Since you started?
My very first venture was in 2009. 2008, 2009.
That's a long time now. Oh my goodness. So for you, again, it could be the same question from other people. There are moments that you find like, oh my God, I can't, I'm not ready. And then it's been 10 years, I'm still not ready because of the bills. What did you do? What works for you?
I think that's where my accountant hat comes in.
Oh, nice. Accountant, yes.
Yeah, so you gotta equip yourself. Of course, you have to be comfortable with numbers. So you do your number game. It's part of the business. If the drawback is the numbers, you address it. So you really work on your numbers. If the drawback is your mindset, that's another thing. You'll find a mentor, you do your research, and you discern on it. If your drawback is your partner support, that's another thing. You talk it through, make a family decision, and so on. So if your hesitation is the numbers and the figures, then don't give up the full-time job. Find a part-time job and get started. The point is getting started. Once you start it, and then you can be conservative about it, then you can, because we have 24 hours a day. There's an 8-hour lean time there that you're not in your full-time job and you're not sleeping. So that's where you do your hustle, you do your business. The business only needs a full stretch 6 hours to begin with a day. So you can still, eat, take a bath.
Yeah, that's true. And enjoy.
I really watch my time like that, because like especially for me, I have like 3 shifts in a day. 6 a.m. to 12 noon, 12 noon to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 12 midnight. So it's really a full stretch day every day. So and you sleep in 6 hours. But most people have an 8-hour shift. So you sleep 8 hours, you work 8 hours, and the 8 hours is where you do your homework, self-improvement, and you don't need to sleep 8 hours. Actually, sometimes older people sleep less. So you have more time. So I think you address that by, if it's financial, keep the work until it's more at least stable, or at least it has taken off. But you never start a business for money. Money is or income. Income is the result of the business. It will come out, definitely. It may not be immediate. It can be 5 years, but it will be there.
Yes, definitely.
But then that's the common mistake. People start a business for money. So if I come across people asking about, asking advice about business, and those are my few questions. So if they say to me, oh, so I can have money, I can have income, I can have profit, so I have to turn it around. That's not the purpose of starting a business. The purpose of starting a business is really finding out why you want to start a business.
Definitely.
And then from there, and from all the activities that you do, the money is the result. So,
Correct.
and it takes a while to get to kick that in.
As ROI.
It takes a while on
There's no magic.
on
anyways.
mindset and money and actual ROI. So it's really a journey. So you have to answer that, you really have to address the financial part, the business planning part, and then maybe keep the job, keep a part-time, have something that can keep sustain the bills at least, and then venture into that passion, into that whatever industry that you're looking at. So I think that's a really good strategy.
Yeah, those are good points because again, success is not an overnight, kind of thing, and it takes a while for you to see the growth and the return of investment, right? And I love the way you said, like, you need to invest on something if you want to transition into an entrepreneurship in whatever ways you want to. You need to invest. I mean, like learning, having a mentor, having a coach,
Yes. There you
There you go. And also understanding or the self-discovery perhaps, and the self-awareness of, okay, I have my goal, I have my whys, but what are the possible problems, challenges, just like what you've mentioned. It could be the numbers, could be finances. How can I start this business? I don't have money. I mean, I only have enough because I only work 4 days a week and this is what I got. Now, how can I actually go on and have this mission of doing this, business? And again, you've got an accountant, you have mentioned. So tick all the boxes that you have, all the challenges perhaps, because that maybe you've been writing all those challenges for the past 15 years, and look at you're still in the same same bed. You're still, like, every time you wake up, you're still in the same spot. You have never moved on to a different path to success. So if you're really willing to, and you have mentioned, you don't need to just transition straight away, slowly but surely, right? Maybe do it part-time and then have that business alongside of what you're doing. And if it's really growing, then cut the hours again of your full-time job or part-time job, and then I think that's what we've done anyways, right? So you've been since 2009. Mine is almost 8 years now, and we both have no regrets at all, because again, you have to take the risk.
Correct.
You have to be brave, you have to be bold in your decision, and we make sure that you're doing the right stuff.
Correct.
And with your because I can see that you are, as I said, strong woman, empowered, confident. Was there a point in your life, whether personal or professional, that despite of you being strong and very level-headed and really good, very smart when it comes to planning, is there a time that you can share, a pivotal moment of your life that has tested your resilience and has shaped the way you face the challenges these days?
Yeah, there's a lot, because I think, and it's a common story. Each time you see a fully stretched person, stretched because success is defined differently. So a fully stretched person has been fully stretched, that it's gone through so much. That's why it's the output. It's like the boiled egg concept. So I think I can share personal life experience that has really got me through, like, rock bottom. With the transition from the ex-husband, the divorce, and then the business transition, because the business originally, as in the Tallier Auto business, not the marketing business, started in I co-founded it, meaning with my ex-husband and my ex-brother-in-law. So was and most people are aware because we've been fully supported by the community. So we had an issue within the internal, and then we had to transition to restructure the business, and that has triggered all other issues that came out afterwards after that. And then the separation happened. So the business was in the verge of, do we sell, do we liquidate, just shut the doors. So it was a very hard time in both family decision, personal, I mean financial, everything, because of we're already exposed as a business, meaning investment is there and so on. So and then there's other issues within, so as in family, so and relationships, and when it's a heart problem as well, it consumes you.
Yes.
Rather than the business problem, you can still be level head. You can still be you can still decide, you can still think if it's a business problem, but matters of the heart, and this is for everyone, even young or old, it consumes you, and you are lesser of a person each time you have, and I think everyone recognizes that. Even teenagers have boyfriends, it's like their life is ended. So similarly, despite the maturity and everything, so have to go through that. The thing is, that wasn't even my rock bottom. It was the aftermath of that
The divorce.
aftermath of that, I got depression and COVID, and I had the tablets. I have to be dependent on tablets. So it has been really I say difficult. Difficult is an understatement. So I had to go through and so on. So there were many. You make a lot of decision that doesn't align sometimes because you are not because of whatever excuse, but because it doesn't. You're not in your full 100%. So you make wrong decisions. So I think that the problem itself, and then the aftermath, and then the results. If you add it all together, that's a milestone backward, and then you get the residue, which is also another part. So imagine the backward trend. So and then pandemic came, which doesn't help.
Sure.
So it was like that in snake and ladders game. You were on the top and then you got bitten by the snake. So you have to go back again to number 22.
Snake and ladders. I know that.
So I have to and then the depression, and then the pandemic, and so you just have to bounce back and find ways where, how, who, when, and so on. And but you're on your own, so you have to really get onto it. So I think that was the difficult part of the journey, I think. And then pandemic for me, to be fair with pandemic, I pivoted. I decided to, because pre-pandemic has been the residue. The pre-pandemic has been the residue. So the residue was in itself is not good already. So there's damage control because of all that. So and then pandemic was a good pit stop, I would say, to really just tidy and then regain focus and clean up, I suppose, and also replant, reset. So I did that, and not too long. It didn't take me too long, even if it was pandemic. So I was able to pivot, and then and I decided to keep the business. So I had to really stretch my strategic thinking of what to do and so on. So that I took advantage of the pandemic time, and at that time we grew.
That's good. I thank you so much for sharing that. I felt like, wow, there's bigger was happening in the background, but it doesn't show now after since 2009. And look at you, you know, awarded as the Entrepreneur of the Year. It was a few years back, right?
22.
And other awards as well, from one after the other. It's really good. But you know what? You're an epitome of that courage and being a strong, empowered woman. As I said, I got it. Where did it actually start? You know, that becoming more resilient. And looking back, what was that strategy that you have, or just this way, what was the most important lesson that you have learned, taking you back at that very moment that it feels like all the bits and pieces or the world is against you? What's the important lesson that has helped you shape your future as an entrepreneur right now?
There are many lessons learned and to be learned. And I think, as I recall, and it's not too long ago, I think, so my biggest lesson is really that there's no one else but you. So in every journey, every battle, you only have yourself. So meaning, whilst you have support, family, of course you have faith, and that's there in the grand scheme of things. It's still you to face whatever there is in front of you. So it's a decision you make how you get onto things. And I have gone through massive depression, as in depression. And so I know what it's like to be in that moment of you don't got you. You know, sometimes you get to that moment, I don't got me, so where else? So, and at the same time, the pivotal moment, it was also the voice who said that, you know, you got yourself. So there's no other way but to really move forward. And that's really very important, I think. And a lot of us, especially business people, we rarely think of ourselves. We think of others. We think of our commitment. Of course, children are always there as responsibilities, but the last thing we think of are ourselves. So we take ourselves for granted, our health, mental health, our time for ourselves. So I think that has those pivotal moments for me gave me that opportunity to you know what, I have to give time to recover, because I need to recover, and I acknowledge it, and that's given me that step back, that I have to be self-aware. I need to recover. I'm not okay, so I need to recover. I need to give it to myself, so I need to take 5 steps backwards, because I want to go 10 steps forward. So to do that, I need that step back. So, and I did, and that was the only way, and I only had myself, because and the thing is, with us especially, and if you're exposed, like you have a business, people know you have to have a face that is a normal face.
Yeah, but you don't know what's
that
going on
is
behind
your
it.
social face.
That's right.
And the Facebook face, you know.
Yes, social media face.
And
True.
so and that's there. So that's what people see. And what I'm sharing now is the behind the scene to it.
And the reality.
Years. And the reality.
That's good. Any special or maybe specific techniques that you've done? Because you're not the only one who've experienced depression or had a divorce or whatever maybe challenges in their lives that can affect your well-being, right? Was there any strategy or techniques that you've done that was very effective that maybe others can also learn from you? Maybe some people, they go for yoga or something. What did you do at that moment?
Apart from Moscato.
I love that. Okay.
And I think that's the other thing, and I have to help myself. Talking about I got myself. I have to help myself to lift myself again,
Yeah.
you know. So during pandemic, I was able to do my own, like walking. It helped
good.
you
Yeah.
know. But I do write, as in
Nice.
spontaneous writing. But
Yeah.
the thing is, that's my outlet, so I never share it. So I just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
But I do write
good.
spontaneous. Each time I have to release or to be motivated, I have to write, like, yeah. So
That's good. Writing, walking. That's
Yeah.
good. You know, some does yoga or maybe running
Yeah.
or walking, marathon, whatever. It's good to divert your attention. Sometimes if you get soaked with a lot of problems, challenges,
Yeah.
and sometimes you doubt yourself.
True.
And self-doubt can kill your dreams.
Yeah,
honestly.
very, very
Because
true.
if you allow yourself to drown in that moment, then you lose all your vision, you know, the goals and the whys. You lose track because you don't know exactly what could be the right
could be.
technique or strategies to overcome all those possible
Possible, yeah.
setbacks. And thank you for sharing that, you know, and for being honest as well, because it's very inspiring for other people to know and listen who's gonna watch this video. I mean, this podcast, that there's someone like you who's successful, but behind that there were also tears, there were also like drawbacks and the highs and the lows, which is normal to any individual, but not everyone can do whatever you have done to get back on track, even though you feel like you're drowning. It's one of the hardest thing to do in life, to go back on track or get back on track, because you feel like the world is against you. No one is here to support you, and no one loves me. Even even postpartum, some people would think like, oh, no one loves me anymore.
Yeah,
What more if
true.
you are in that situation, right? And I feel sorry that it happened to you, but I'm also grateful that it has created a huge impact in a positive way.
Yeah.
And as a strong, empowered woman, look at you now, very proud of yourself. If you look back, that was me. I never gave
Yeah.
up, right? But speaking of that, never gave up. I know as a strong woman, any strong woman doesn't want to give up. But was there a point in your life, having this business running since 2009, was there a point that you felt like you felt the weight on you as a leader or an entrepreneur?
Oh yeah, all the time. And I think it's a common thing, as you actually grow your business, your network, or your businesses, your empire, you get to that stage all the time that the harder the problems are, and the harder the problems, you're always in a stage like, oh, you always tend to ask, oh, why am I even here? I can do this. I could have just done this, you know. So it always gets to that point. But to give up is another thing, because I think my personality, and I'm blessed to really have that. Very, 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 very rare that I have that attitude of giving up. It will take you a long, whether friendship, whether business, whether relationships, and everything. My personality and mindset is to really, as I said before, if you remember, you make a decision, you make it right. So I'm always on that side of things, not on the giving up side.
So, Jasmine, I just want to ask you about the people around you, right? Again, you can't choose the people that you work with, the people that you mingle with, and the people you business with, okay? So there are people who are there to support you. Some are there to wait for you to fail. Some people are just want to destroy your dream or something, or maybe distract you with the like gossips or anything. How do you approach all these people in your life, being a successful entrepreneur, as a female entrepreneur? Because you can't really say like, I want just this, I want, life is not perfect.
Looking back, I'm actually grateful that these people came to my life, and I have learned a lot from these people who have just gone in and then did a mess in any form and then left, because there's always a lesson there. I've learned a lot in business about myself and about them, And if I recall to date, because I'm always the type that you will not hear me complain or just say negative about anyone.
Yeah,
I never.
I know that.
And yeah, I never. It's not in my my vocabulary. So and a lot of people, that's their everyday world. So and you'll find that there are people like that. That what you said, they have the purest intention to break you, to say everything negative,
Jealousy,
about
envy,
you.
right?
Yeah, yeah, which is a really important lesson to learn. Which is, and I never learned. Sometimes you still get these people, you still attract these people because they're just there, and it's part of the universe, I think. So I'm grateful for them. I have to manage them, and I think the best way is to really, the humility part is important, that you're genuine on what you do, and if they have other motives, it's on them. And the humility part, that if they have done all these things towards you, your business, other people, then you just have to move on a level head. Of course, you know, the law will take care of everything else, the legal and everything. But as humans, I think my dad always tell me that between being right and being kind, always choose to be kind.
Yes.
Because you'll never go wrong.
That's right.
It's always a lot. I'm always confronted with big decisions in business between choosing to be kind and to be right. So in those cases, I always remember what my dad will tell me, that just be kind, because you'll never I think it's
be
a
cool
really
to
good.
be kind, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that expensive to be kind,
To be
and that's a good
it's not,
attitude.
it's not everyone really can really do that.
That's true.
Because a lot of, especially in business, a lot of business people has to be right.
Yes, and there are people have different personalities at the same time. But I also believe in the saying that it's on Motivationalee's social media posts, that there are 3 people that you can that you need to remember: the useful, the useless, and the user. You know? So those people that we encounter each day, we should know how to deal with them. And focus on your vision. Again, and your why. We keep on saying this to remind you repeatedly that really need to embrace that. Because those people who are user and useless in your life, they are the possible setbacks. And if you don't have a strategy to do something about it, and then it refocuses it distracts the way you want to achieve your goals in life, and it defeats your purpose as well while you're doing it. And this is what they're saying, right? I'm sure you will agree with this, that those people who are useless and user, and when it comes to business, okay? You set aside the things that doesn't deserve you at all, or that doesn't deserve your energy.
True.
Otherwise, you know, what will happen? It affects as well your decision making. And especially these days, you know, when it comes to emotions as well, the well-being itself. So you need to look after yourself. It's self-care as well. So always make sure have someone who can push you to ascend and not to descend. It is very, very important. I guess, you know, as we mature in age, we don't really care how many people that we have. It could be just 1 or 2. We don't need more, because some of them are just like, you know, onlookers and just waiting for you to fail, and just like, But even if you have only 1 or 2 left, you know that they are genuine people for you, right? Now, speaking of decision making, as an entrepreneur, a female entrepreneur, how does what influence you when it comes to decision? Is it more on the instinct and the emotion? Because I know I heard from a seminar or a workshop before that women tends to decide emotionally, but men is more on very logical, perhaps. You know, I'm not trying to compare the two, but in this world where men is dominating in this kind of industry, being an entrepreneur, what do you think about this? You know, how do you actually, decide on things? What's influencing you?
I think as women also, we are blessed to have the intuition of a woman that, you know, our gut feel sometimes or most of the time is telling us like real talk, like
True.
yeah. So we are blessed with that, and I capitalize on that. So that's really important for me. Instinct. And to add to that, you have to do your homework, because the accounting side, accounting hat comes in. So you do in business, when you do business decisions, you know, you read, you do your numbers, and then you go back to your strategic plan if you have, and see if this is aligned to that. And then if I have to make like critical, really, really critical, uncertain decision, of course you pray, you discern, you know, the higher level. And if I have to, I have a lifeline. I call my dad, of course. He gives me advice because it's unbiased, and he has exposure in business as well, so he can help me, he can guide me, and still, if I need, I make sure I have inner circle connection that I can call about certain matters. I think as you build your business, as you build what you want to build, you have to have that. And I do the same. I pass it forward. And if I'm in a position to be able to help business people to decide, I would really give time for it, because I know what it's like to be there. Or that decision point that I was saying, the crossover point, if you want to make a decision, I love to be always in that, because I get to assess and help and passionately identify the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses of that decision point of an entrepreneur. So I have that escalation, as you say. Yeah.
It looks like you have a well-balanced woman as well. You know, you have that very smart goals as well, and you tend to review. I think that's a good way of saying, like, whatever you do with your goals, whatever you have implemented, you need to review, reevaluate. If it doesn't work, don't give up. Keep trying and rejig your what do you call this, in your management, how you manage your daily life, you know, with your achieving your goals in life, you know. That's very important. If it doesn't work, and say, oh, what's next, you know. And again, network is very important.
Have a lifeline.
Lifeline is very important. That's good to know. Apart from having that instinct gut feelings, right? That's very important. But if you're going to choose, just for example, you're you're working for someone, would you rather have a lady boss or a gentleman boss?
I am biased with women. My network tends to be attracted in women, since I'm in a male-dominated industry, like the automotive now. Prior to that, I was in logistics, which is also male-dominated. So I've always worked with men as bosses in general. But if I am to choose now, I'd love to work for a woman boss that I can learn from still, and then you know, like for a woman president of the country.
Why do you think women? Why you're more comfortable?
It's because I'm a woman as well, and I can relate, and I feel more proud, I would say. I'm more biased. Yeah. And I always say, whether you're whatever, woman, man, and undefined, you should always be a feminist.
Wow, interesting. Interesting enough, because I myself, I'm not trying to argue with you, but for me, I love working for both, right? Because you learn from both ends, right?
Yeah.
But if I need to choose, and I have to choose, given the chance, I'd like to work with a gentleman boss, like, you know, it's because it's nice to have a different perspective, and then I can weigh things up with my decision, because I have my gut feelings, I have my own instinct, just like what you do. And as women, we decide on emotion. But it's nice to have someone who can balance that and can give us that logic, like, hey, you know, da-da-da. At the end of the day, it's our decision anyways, right? Like, oh yeah, he said one thing and this thing. And you can actually weigh things up. But I'm not saying yours is the wrong choice and mine is the wrong choice or the right choice. But
that's
I think, you know, all of us are watching right now. You have your own
Yeah.
choice, right? Because we're not trying to compare and compete, right? We want to collaborate, right? And all that. So we complement one another. Speaking of that, why in a business it's good? Because there are a lot of competitions these days. Like if you go to a restaurant, there's so many restaurants,
Yeah.
especially here in Melbourne, right? If you are or doing another business about music, there's so many photographers, videographers, editors, name it.
Yeah.
There's so much opportunities, and there's a lot of competition. Why is it collaboration is important than competition? Because some would say like, yeah, honestly, there's still competition even though we
Yeah,
collaborate.
correct.
Tell us all about this one.
Because I think in this day and age, collaboration is the operative word to survive. Even not just to no man is an island. Coming from that,
Yeah.
you need that competition, harmonious competition. I'd say to really keep up, to challenge yourself, to keep evolving, to be innovative, to learn about the industry and strength in the industry. You need to collaborate with your competitors. You need and also as in the art of war, in business also, you have to know as well what the others are doing, but in a positive way.
Correct.
So not to attack, but to learn from it, and also to innovate and or to support and
Yes.
or to do projects together and or to lobby for your industry. So I think it's really very, very important.
Yes,
Yeah.
collaboration bridge longevity and it's the key to success as well, right? And
Yeah.
it's very important that you're also complementing. There is a healthy competition,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And comparison in a way, but again, you said not in a negative way, because you all grow together, even though you have the same maybe business.
Target market.
But different purpose, why you're doing it. And it's good that you are helping each other, lifting one another
Yeah.
up genuinely, because some people like, oh yeah, I'll support you, but because the background of it is like they're just wanting something out
Yeah.
from your business, right? And some, again, those three people, the user, the useless, and the useful are always there
They're
to
always there.
surround you. So just be
Yeah.
very smart when it comes to looking after your business at the same time mingling with other people.
Yeah.
Now, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Apart from losing weight, that's one.
That's a big challenge. Okay. What's
5 years
strategy?
naman. So 5 years.
5 years.
That's
okay.
good for me. No,
Let's go for a walk.
I think I've all. Now I think I'll full disclosure on this. I've always wanted to have my orphanage
Oh, nice.
in the Philippines. It's more affordable there, but our heart is in there. I have a foundation right now there, so I support scholars, so which I don't publicize. But beyond that, I really want an orphanage. I don't know. It's just like my higher why. So I think I have to do it at some. It's in my strategic plan, personal strategic, my vision board, I'd say. So, so I'll gear up to that. So that means everything I do will gear up to that part. We're still growing our businesses, so in terms of like branches,
Yes.
and then services. So there's
That's good.
the business side will always grow. Personally, I think, as I said, apart from losing weight, and maybe that Philippine Foundation charity.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
It looks like you are very much accomplished and you know exactly what you want versus the need, right? You need to know that the difference between the wants and the need. And you have a brighter future ahead of you. And I really hope that once, we hope that we don't grow older, right? But age is just a number. And as you lose weight, I said, in 5 years' time, why
Yes,
not?
why not?
I hope everything
Yeah.
goes well with everything personal
Yeah.
and professional at the same time.
Yeah.
Is there any, you've talked about the vision board a while ago. Why is it important? Some people doesn't believe in that, like, you don't need to. And how did you do your vision board before?
That was part of my therapy. Remember, I had the depression, so it's part of my therapy that I really challenge myself, because when you're depressed, it's hard to look forward.
Yes, definitely.
So you have to really find that things to look forward to every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, and then that's next to that. So I really challenge myself to do that. So I write, so I diarize and so on. But then usually I set a time, beginning of the year or Good Friday, I set a time to really do self meditation awareness, and then after that I do the exercise of reviewing my vision board. And what I'm proud is my vision boards in the previews. I'm proud. I think I've accomplished, if not all, at least most, that I envisioned. Pre-pandemic, I envisioned my call center in the Philippines, because at the time I was a small agency and so on. So I put it in there. I envisioned an apartment. So I really did. And I made it really, as you know how it works. You have to be very specific in numbers, in color, in visualize, like in brand, even if you want. So so it really helped me during those dark days, that you have something to look forward to, and it's more than career and everything. So there's aspect there, like the foundation, the inner peace, inner joy, and faith, and so on. So there are aspects there. I try to balance it that way.
You're such a lovely person. You've got everything what it takes to become a very successful individual, despite of all the shortcomings long time ago. You write, you go for a walk, you exercise, you have your vision board, you meditate. I think that's very good for other people who's actually listening at this time or watching at this time, that they still have the power to create the life that they desire, and it's not the end of the world. There's always hope for everything, as long as you allow yourself to to stand back and be brave and be able to recognize your whys and your wants versus your needs, and of course ask some people to also network people who can help you, the right network of people, right direction. And of course, again, don't forget to review your vision board if you have that. If you haven't got any, you can try doing your vision board. What kind of vision board did you do? Did you use post-its or just drawing?
Digital. I use digital, so it's really more specific.
I see. That's nice.
Like right now, for example, I can share like my vision board right now. I think I have a red Maserati there.
Oh, wow.
The 2-door. I know the make and model as an example. So back before, I have a different vision board. So I use, now you can use Canva with technology. Canva. Back in the I still use PowerPoint, so I can just grab photos from Google and just fix it up there, and then put my notes and all.
That's good. For those who are non-technical, they can use what I've done last time was magazine. I used magazines before a long time ago, and post-its as well. So I have different colors. Because we have to be specific.
That's right.
And again, we're not just like putting all this vision board just for the sake of having a nice view. You've got to work on it. That's the word. Work on it. Invest. I'm not saying financial, but invest on if you need a mentor, if you need a coach, if you need someone, self-improvement for that for that instance. It's very important that you are doing something of that vision board and make it happen. If it doesn't happen for a year, rejig again, try and reevaluate, maybe another year and all that, and it will happen. And once it happened, oh my God, such a great feeling, like, wow, looking back, I was like this. So vision board is very important, right?
I use another technique. apart from vision board, you can do a life board. Life board is what you have right now.
Yeah.
So you in the middle, and what are your obligations, or
yeah.
what's on your plate, what are your responsibilities,
Yes.
just what you have really in a blank paper, so that you're reminded, okay, oh, I have too much, oh, I can't, I don't have much, I have extra time, and so on. So, oh, I have actually people dependent on me
That's
that I'm
right.
not realizing, that I don't even give half an hour a week. So you'll realize that when you plot it all there. So that's a good exercise to for your pit stop.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. Have you heard of the word ikigai?
Oh yeah,
I've used that
yeah,
many years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
And can
The
you,
Japanese
the Japanese one, ikigai. What do you
concept.
think about that? Because prior to, just like both of us, prior to indulging into this kind of entrepreneurship, we have that ikigai, knowing our purpose. What do you think about
Purpose.
that?
Yeah.
How helpful?
I always encourage people. I have an electronic version of that, a bit of the
same,
book.
yeah.
So each time I connect with people or people in my inner circle, I make sure they have that. So I share
Very
it.
important.
Yeah, it's something worthwhile to read, the actual book, and the little summary of it, like the round thing, and it's got all the concepts about that. So it's a really good Japan that we can apply in our lives. And once you unlock that, it's not gonna just flow, but it will give you that aha moment in
Yes,
life. I
definitely,
think.
100%.
So, yeah.
You know, when you read that, or when you read that digital
Yeah,
call it book
yeah.
or something, it allows you to get to know more your inner self, and it drives you more to do something better. Every day you get excited,
Yeah.
and every time you wake up in the morning, you feel like, yes, I want to do something like this, and I want to do it now. You're trying to make it happen, and you're trying to create something, a path that you'll be able to achieve that specific goal. Could be part of your vision board,
Yeah.
or the life board or something. That ikigai is
Ikigai.
so helpful.
Highly recommended.
Very inspiring, right?
Yeah.
That's part of our motivation.
Yes.
Right? Speaking of motivation, what else motivates you to keep going? Apart from what you have mentioned a while ago, is there anything that entice you to, like, oh, I can do better than this. I can be a better version of myself. What motivates you?
I think each time I connect with people who have high level of motivation, high level of purpose, and they know exactly what they want, or even if they don't know, but they have the passion, a similar passion, I get motivated, I get excited to venture, to work with them, to be a part of whatever they do. Thank you. So I think that's motivating enough for me.
I know.
Yeah.
It's like what's it called? A catalyst, right? In our lives. Like if we are in that same room with someone like you and the rest of the people that we have met before, wow, it feels like I can be like them in the future. I'll wait for another month, I'll do this. Like you never stop dreaming, but in that dream you want to make it happen. You want to make a difference to other people and to your life, to your family at the same time. That's really good. Now, Jazz, it's really exciting to, talk about this life of being an entrepreneur and being a good example of a female successful entrepreneur. What are the lessons? Two things, okay? But first, what are the lessons you have learned from since 2009 up to the present that you've been very successful, and your other branches of other successful what you call this career, or not just career but also businesses? What are those important lessons that you have picked in each journey?
I think as and I keep saying it, your higher purpose, unlocking that is very important, which you won't get it on your first venture, you won't even get it on the first year, and so on. Like really continuously finding your true vision of what you're doing, of your endeavor, business or career or any investments or any life project for that matter. So that visioning is always important. That goes with mindset, because your mindset is, again, is what's gonna got you. You know, that's what you have. You have nothing and nothing and nothing. You have a mindset, oh, you're gonna go places. And we've seen that story in many successful people's story, you know. That Will Smith movie, I forgot, I always say that example, the Will Smith movie, he's got his son and he's just got his positive attitude selling this machine, and his mindset, the pursuit of happiness. Thank you. You should watch that. You should.
I'm not into movies, but I will definitely
watch
this.
Each time I'm in a plane and I have extra time and it's in there, I would just watch it over and over again. It just motivates.
Wow. That's good.
So that's all you got. So and I think that's and it happened to me many times in business, in life. Your visioning, your mindset, and not to discount the fact you have to be efficient. You have to do your routine. Your habits is important. Your how you cover. You can imagine how we cover everything that we want to do and what we have to do, children, career, and then this and that. So you have to find your stance where you put things in order and priorities, and you get better at it. You get better in making decisions. You get better in making big projects. The big projects will look to small projects, and then and so on. And then you'll do away with the tiny projects that doesn't give you what you need, and you do away with the people, what you said, you eliminate them in your system. I choose my inner circle. I don't really have much in my inner circle. I have a lot of acquaintances and friends and many organizations, but my inner circle is really very intact. So
wow, I love your world. I really love your world, and I hope you can influence more, entrepreneur female, not just the male, but the whole generations, of budding entrepreneurs as well. Speaking of that, what could be your best advice to those listeners or viewers at this time on both the digital channel and also the Spotify at the same time? What could be your best tips or advice for those budding entrepreneur, especially the female entrepreneur who wants to be like you, becoming an influential leader?
Wow.
In the business scene.
I'm flattered with that, by the way, the whole time. But just go for it. I think never give up. Go for the dream. If it's already there, never give up. It's always easy to give up. Always easier to give up in anything. The relationships and life, career, people. Always easier to give up. So never give up. So that can be your advantage already. Not giving up is already one leap away because you stayed. And as what Lee mentioned before, you remember the reason why you even started. And looking at it, if you prayed for that a year ago and it's already given to you, so you stay and stick by it. So never give up. You'll always be guided towards that point where you want to give up, and something then comes up. Something comes up, and you will say, okay, I'm gonna push this. I'm gonna try this avenue, and so on. So. Actually, the other day I was gonna share. I have this psychic reader. A friend. I'm really happy about it because a friend's friend came in. She's a really good psychic reader from Philippines, very popular in the showbiz industry. So, and she's in town. She's on holiday, so I had the privilege to sit down and really have that time with her. And she did really well, and she's a really good reader, and she's read like a lot, and she's given me advices as well. So, and I think it's important. I have very important decisions I have to make this time. So, and I asked her. So, and she gave me that guidance. So, and what she told me, that's why I wanted to share, was sometimes when you think that that's not the solution. So try to think again, because sometimes that intuition you had is the opposite. That is actually the solution. That's what she told me. Like these times that in the next quarters you're doing that decision, try to always step back and rethink, because what you're thinking might be the solution, might be the right choice for you. So that really kicked in. And because I was sharing that visioning, doing a lot of that homework, and also the mindset, and not giving up, I think is really important.
That's really good. I mean, like, wow. It's just really a big wow. Thank you so much for the inspiration, the motivation, and you've created an impact to all of us right now. And from this day forward, you know, a lot of people would say like, oh, we're going to start, you know, doing our vision boards, and also the word never give up on something, and surrounding yourself with the right people, not the user, but not the users, but the useful.
The useful
And
one.
obviously, you know, always have that self-discovery, self-awareness, and the self-care is very important.
True.
On top of anything, because
Very
you know you have the you are in control of yourself, right? So
Yeah.
make sure you look after yourself, and of course having those people around you who are good influence as well can also make a difference. And keep doing the things that you love to do, Jazz.
Yeah.
And I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
I thank you so much for sharing everything, you know, impromptu today. Everything. And
thank
in
you.
that moment, I felt like we are very much connected.
Yes, we are.
Super thank you.
Super sister.
Super sisters. And again, good luck on everything. No matter what, we'll always be here for you as
Thank
well.
you.
And for those who are listening right now, again, never give up. And always believe that you have the power to create the life that you desire. This is Lee, Motivationalee, and thank you so much for watching our podcast series, The Frontier. Inspire, motivate, and create an impact. See you again.